Is it possible? There you are.
This scene means a lot to me. To me, this cutscene represents the beginning of a new era, a new journey that I didn't even know I would be going on. Some of it was really bad, and some of it was absolutely amazing. But all of it together make up a game worth celebrating. Many of us know how special this game is and just how different it is now compared to when it launched. But I believe to truly appreciate what the game has become, we need to step back and give it another in-depth look at the journey it has taken us on. Today, I'd like you to join me on this look back through the many evolutions Destiny has gone through, discuss the ups and downs, and then decide what this game truly has to offer. Guardians, I would like to present to you my final review of Destiny. When news hit that Bungie was stepping away from its premier franchise to make a new IP, it immediately caught everyone's attention. Bungie has had a reputation for making amazing AAA titles, so you knew whatever they were cooking up was gonna be magnificent. Then E3 2013 came around and we all got our first look at what Bungie's big secret was. And let me tell you right now, what they showed us was nothing short of amazing. We saw real gameplay footage of Guardians flying into the map via their personal ship and teleporting down into the battlefield as the ship whipped by. Then two Guardians fought through the wall of old Russia. A warlock using a knife. I know, it's unheard of now, but this was the game. They made promises of an open world where what you see is where you can go. As the Guardians exit the wall, they meet up with yet another Guardian, a Titan, entering the play space via ship again. And then a fallen Ketch teleports into the skybox, the shockwave of which knocks down two of the colony ships, and it swoops down in an epic way that actually fills your heart with fear about whatever that ship is about to drop in front of you to fight. After this, we see a small trailer. We see cutscenes between you and the Queen's brother, discussions with the Speaker, lots of things hinting at an amazing game. At this point, Destiny had won us all over, building the hype for a game to new levels. And we were all foaming at the mouth to get our hands on Destiny and play the new epic adventure Bungie had just teased to us. The biggest reason we were all excited for the release of Destiny was mostly because the legacy Bungie had left behind. Bungie has always had a special place in gaming history. Their passion and drive for creating video games is always present in their masterpieces. The time they take to craft not just a playable game space, but a whole universe of lore surrounding that space is something they are no stranger to by any means. And their hunger for innovation is one that had a lasting effect on gaming. PvP FPS gaming definitely has no shortage of game titles within it. Today, Call of Duty is thought to be the dominant title, having a very substantial presence in the industry and being a major motivator on the way games are made and changed. But before Call of Duty, there was Halo. Halo 1 was the biggest first-person shooter to hit the console since Doom and GoldenEye. It revolutionized the way we played FPS titles, making simple yet effective changes like having 2 weapons to carry with you at all times, and switching between those 2 weapons with just the touch of a button. Nothing crazy and nothing too complicated is what worked for this game. Its campaign had an intelligent AI that would combine with the game's excellent gunplay to cause this game to explode in popularity. But the biggest change of them all didn't come until the release of Halo 2, where online multiplayer hit consoles in a big way. Certainly Halo wasn't the first title to have multiplayer. There were many other games that attempted this, but they all fell short and were ultimately forgotten. It was Bungie's idea to integrate things like leaderboards and trackable stats via Bungie.net that formed the competitive side of Halo. Halo's excellent gameplay, paired with the robust structure of Xbox Live's online capability, made this game stand out, and before you knew it, everyone had this game. I'm serious, if you own an Xbox, you own Halo 2. These are facts. Halo 2 had become the #1 competitive title on the market for consoles simply because it was doing what no one else was doing. On top of this grand achievement, the story developed through the game's campaign and the books to supplement were so lovingly crafted and beautifully pieced together, it was hard not to fall in love with this franchise. With the arrival of Destiny on the horizon, we all expected this same level of innovation and refinement to arrive with it. Then the game came to us, and you began the campaign. No one could refute the gunplay of the game was absolutely phenomenal. Everything felt so good. Reloading felt good, melees felt good, the guns didn't shoot too fast or too slow. And to this day, that is what Destiny is known for, is having the best gunplay around. When you use your super, you feel powerful, you feel unstoppable, you feel like a true weapon of the light. When I slam my fist into the ground, bad things happen to bad people. And at first you think this game is amazing, and for a minute it was really fun. But it went south very quickly, and the game started to show the signs of internal disaster and rushed development. As you progressed through the game, you realize the game you were promised is not what you have just received. Almost none of what was shown off at the E3 Sony conference is in the game. None of the crazy shit flying in, none of the cutscenes. And what is left is boring to play. Aside from still voice acting or writing, who knows, anyway, each mission feels like more of the same. Go here, deploy the Ghost. Ghost sets off an alarm because he's bad at math. The game transforms into a horde mode shooter for a moment, and then you just make your way into another room where you'll just be doing the same thing over again. And the few cutscenes we do get explain nothing at all.
I could tell you of the great battle centuries ago. I could tell you of the power of the darkness. There are many tales. Lately, those tales have stopped. I could tell you.
Boy, if you don't get...
And the voice acting is really bad. I love Peter Dinklage, he is absolutely amazing, but the Ghost, his line delivery is sometimes just so painful that I don't know if it's his fault or if the writing is just that bad. But something isn't right. After each cutscene, all we are left with is more questions, because the cutscene provided us with no story progression. We're told we need to fight the darkness, but we have no idea what that is.
Partner? Darkness, everybody! Darkness is spreading!
Instead, it only hints at a more interesting story and a more interesting game that you wish you were playing instead of this one. To find the answers you want, you have to go to a separate website and read hours of Grimoire cards. And once you read into the lore of the game, you realize that this story is amazing! And then you'll cry because none of it's in the actual game! And unfortunately, the problems didn't stop there. In the beginning, the leveling process feels great. I loved the sound that accompanied the big gold text that would show up when I leveled up. But after level 20, leveling up just became the hardest thing in the whole world to do. Do you remember the saying Forever 29? That phrase came from the seemingly impossible task of getting the loot you needed to go from level 29 to level 30. I just needed boots. Just give me the boots already! The RNG system in the game was absolutely infuriating. I dare you to ask someone who's been playing since year 1 their story about getting Vex Mythoclast. Don't you dare even ask me about it, because I still don't have the gun. You would play in a Nightfall Strike for an hour, shooting at bullet sponge bosses, which I just realized I haven't even mentioned yet, and at the end of it all, you would get a Mode of Light or something, while your friends walked away with exotics.
28 Nightfall. He's down! He's down! He's... Please give me something good. It gave me 11. I'm changing my rating to 0 of 10. I'm done. I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm done with Destiny.
And I get why they did it that way. They wanted to create the sense of an amazing achievement when you finally got a gun, which it did, because you would lose your mind when you finally got the gun you wanted.
Done. Take him out. He's done. He's done. Nice.
Oh my god, I got the go horn! Oh my god! Oh my god, I got the go horn! Oh my god! Oh, Gallahorn and Vex! Gallahorn and Vex! Oh my god! Oh!
The Dark Below was the first DLC edition we got since the initial launch of the game. After we learned of the loss of Destiny's original lead writer during development, and then the lawsuit from composer Martin O'Donnell, causing the story to be stripped and redone by game devs rather than game writers, we were more understanding of the problems plaguing Destiny, and looked to the Dark Below as the content this game needed to breathe new life into a barren game. And once again, we were disappointed. What we were told was more story was actually 3 missions that are nothing more than glorified bounties. The major part of this expansion that we all wanted was the addition of a new raid, because despite all of the problems of vanilla, the Vault of Glass raid was amazing, and we craved another experience like that in a new setting. And that's what we got. But the bugs that plagued that raid made some of the encounters nearly impossible. When Crota realized that he could fit through the door to the crystal room and tore y'all up, that hurt, okay? That hurt. The House of Wolves was a small step, and I mean a small step, in the right direction. After the blow we all took with Destiny's first expansion, House of Wolves learned from a few of its mistakes. It brought a new leveling system for our gear, allowing you to bring any piece of legendary gear you have to the max light level. This change was welcomed because it meant we didn't have to get rid of a certain piece of gear we liked, provided we had enough etheric light to put into it. The story wasn't too bad. It had a little bit more semblance with it, giving us more missions to play through as we chased after Skolas, the Kell of Kells. No raid accompanied this expansion, which was a bummer for the most part, but Bungie did replace this with the Prison of Elders, which tied the whole expansion together with a neat little bow. This expansion also brought the competitive aspect to Destiny with the launch of the Trials of Osiris, which keenly pointed out that there was still a huge problem that needed fixing: the PvP space. Remember when I said Destiny had great gunplay? Well, once you stepped into the Crucible, you realized that that great gunplay starts and ends in the PvE space. That's woohoo land. This is the Crucible. You're playing with the big boys now, and by big boys, I mean people with Thorn, the Last Word, or Icebreaker. If you didn't have one of those guns, well, you could carry yourself to Call of Duty and try your hand at that, because you're not going to win here. I'm sorry, it just wasn't going to happen. This was so frustrating for players, especially those who were new and simply hadn't put enough time into the game yet. to have even the smallest chance at getting those guns. The pure imbalance of the PvP space made it frustrating and unapproachable, which made what should have been Destiny's saving grace its final nail in the coffin. Then came the Taken King. The spitshine this game needed so desperately was finally here. There were so many changes made to this game, ranging from small quality of life changes to huge restructuring of the way Destiny tells its story and gives us loot. Destiny was brought back from the dead with this expansion. We got a new story told in the way it should have been all along, with a fantastic writing team behind it flexing their creative writing muscles and cutscenes that actually build characters and push the story forward in a meaningful way. We were also given a new enemy. That changed everything about the way we fight. The Taken were haunting versions of enemies within the game with new abilities. Taken captains launched large masses of this black magic that flushes you out of the open and behind cover to avoid being blinded, while Taken Scions multiply endlessly, forcing you out of the safety of cover to deal with them or risk being overwhelmed. It was a great time to jump back into Destiny and play the game we were always meant to have. Before I bring up the raid, I want to talk about the changes they made to the light system. They did away with the light levels being tied to armor. Instead, light level was now an average of the attack and defense stats of all your weapons and armor. We also were given the infusion system, allowing us to keep the gear we like and level it up with the weapons and armor with higher light levels but otherwise poor stats. This change is my favorite change of all, because I hated being forced to wear that ugly Prison of Elders gear because I didn't have anything better to get that level up. Unfortunately, this change meant that all of your Year 1 gear would be left in Year 1, spelling the end for legendary weapons like Gjallarhorn and the Thorn. The raid was absolutely beautiful. Taking place completely in the new play space, the Dreadnought, the King's Fall raid took you through amazing set pieces and complex mechanics with each encounter. The weapons were hit or miss, but the experience getting them was the best experience in Destiny. Period. After the Taken King, we were left with a behemoth drought that lasted an entire year. A whole year of no DLC. They just left us in this limbo space until the release of Destiny 2. And that was not made better when news broke that Destiny 2 would be delayed another year. The future of Destiny's remaining community seemed bleak, unless nothing short of a miracle came to save us. Enter the Rise of Iron, the answer to Destiny's drought. Rather than leaving us all to die, Bungie employed Protocol Zero and busted out a fourth expansion for us all to enjoy. The story of the Iron Lords we had all heard about was finally about to be told. The names that graced our weapons we cherished in the Iron Banner would finally become more than just names. The community was excited once again for another amazing expansion after the Taken King set a new bar for what the Destiny story could be. What we received was a great ending to the story of Destiny. We got a short and sweet campaign that told the story of the sacrifices the Iron Lords made to hold back the Siva Plague. And by the end of the campaign, we were granted the title of Iron Lords ourselves. This expansion also saw the return of famous weapons like Gjallarhorn, as well as an exotic version of the Khvostov. This expansion could be nicknamed the Member Berries expansion because it really brought a lot of experiences back into the game that we all wanted. Certain set pieces were even specially made to give you the feels, having a dedicated portion of the Khvostov mission take you to the breathtaking view of the mountains of old Russia while you reminisce with your ghost about the epic adventures you've been on together.
Chat with Ghost.
Every ghost is born knowing that we have to find our guardian. We don't know what they look like. Not on the outside, anyway. On the inside, I've always known who you were. And that together, we could be something more. when you think about everything we've seen, everything we've done, I feel like I made the right choice. We should let Shiro know how it went out here. Let him admire his handiwork. And thanks, you know, for being my guardian.
Sword bearer, get him, get him.
There he is. Grab and go.
All right,
Grab
go
that
get
shit.
her,
Go,
go
go.
get her.
Yeah, we got
Stay
plans,
focused.
man.
Go get her.
Just don't fucking.
Just go straight to her. Get her. Oh my God, dude, you're almost out of time. Go.
Heavy.
Go.
Trigger and it'll
Man, Titan skate, boy.
I'm not a Titan.
Oh my God, he did it.
There you go.
This clip.
There it is.
This clip right here is what I believe Destiny is all about, and why we all love it so much. We play this game day and night for hours, banging our head against a wall because we can't get what we want. And then a beautiful moment of zen happens when you and your fire team, comprised of friends, some old, some new, and some people you just met, finally come together to defeat the darkness in a clutch moment of collective awesomeness. I know at points during this look back through the game, I was hitting the game pretty hard, and you might get the impression that I hate Destiny, but that is so wrong. I absolutely love this game to the point that I have made it my life. This game does things that no game franchise out there could ever do, and it is so good at doing it. At the core of all of these gameplay features and DLC expansions is a community that is closer than anything I've ever seen before. My life has changed so much because of this game. Some of my closest friends I met because of this game. My job would not exist without this game and this amazing community that I am proud of and so blessed to be a part of. What makes this game great is you, Guardian. You are what makes this game special, and you are the reason we celebrate in this age of triumph, awaiting the next adventure to be given to us in September. Thank you all for listening. If you made it to the end of this video, then you must really love Destiny, just like all of us here at Destiny Tracker. Please leave a like on this video to let us know you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, I encourage you to do so. And while you're at it, please click the bell icon to the right to join our wonderful community here at Destiny Tracker. My name is KillerBeast61, and I will see you in the next video.